Good day everyone, welcome back to English Hero. We are going to continue discussing some of the common punctuations that are used in writing. Now, I have here actually 5 punctuations more for me to discuss to you, and as to when are we going to use these punctuations in writing. Okay, so let's move directly to number 6, which is apostrophe. Apostrophe is used in contractions and possessives. Okay, so if you are going to shorten or contract that word, you have to use this punctuation, which is an apostrophe. Okay, like this. Okay. So I have here written on the board some examples. Let's try to figure out as to when or where are we going to place the apostrophe. Okay, so we have Hannah's books. This is an example of a possessive. Okay, so in this case, where are we going to place the apostrophe? If we're talking about possessions, anyone? Of course, you have to put it here between A and S. So the name, and then apostrophe, and then the letter S. Okay? Hannah's books. How about this? Government. Okay? This is a contraction of the word government. We have the G-O-V-T. Now, question, where are we going to place the apostrophe here in this word? Anyone? Will it be here, after T? Or will it be here, between V, letter V, or letter T? Letter V and letter T. Which one? This one is correct. Okay, so between V and letter T. There you have it. Okay? Government. G-O-V apostrophe T. And then don't forget, of course, to put punctuation period. Okay? Department. Okay, this is a contraction of the word department. Now, where do you think we are going to place the apostrophe here? D-E-P-T. Same goes with government. It should be between letter P and letter T. So, commonly for contractions, the word will be contracted. Like, the apostrophe will be placed after the third letter. Okay, as you notice, the third letter is for government is V, and the third letter for department is letter P. You have to put apostrophe there after. And then the last letter of the word. Okay, so there you have it. Government, department. Okay, not after letter T. It should be between the third letter and the last letter of the word that you are contracting. Okay, let's move on right away with hyphen. Hyphen is like this. Okay, this one. Just a very short vertical, horizontal line. Alright, so hyphen functions to join 2 or more words. Okay, so I have here examples. 55. 12-hour work or job. Co-workers. Let's try to figure out where are we going to place the punctuation hyphen in these phrases. Anyone? For 55. Of course, it should be between 50 and 5. Okay? This is where you put hyphen. How about for this phrase, 12-hour work job? Work or job, rather. Here, you're going to put hyphen in between number 12 and hour. Okay? By the way, this one, just for your knowledge, this is what we call an adjectival compound words. Okay? Adjectival compound words, from the word compound, there are 2 words. However, either of the word modifies another. Okay, for example, 12 modifies what kind of hour work. Okay, So we say it's a 12-hour work. This is an example of an adjectival compound words. Okay? And we have the last example here. We have co-workers. Where do we put hyphen in this word? Anyone? Of course, here. Co-workers. Okay? So notice that each example has hyphen because it joins two or more words. Okay? Although there are two words that we can observe, but they are separated by a hyphen to make a one meaning. Okay? Or to come up with a one meaning. So 55, we all know 55 is a number. So this is how you write the word 55. Okay? 12-hour work. So you don't say 12. If there's no hyphen here, this means it's like 12 and then you have to put S here because this is not already a compound word. Okay? I'm sorry. It's still a compound word rather, but it has a different meaning already. Okay? So 12-hour versus 12 hours are two different, terms or meaning. Have two different meanings. Okay, so we should put, if you're referring to a kind of shift or a kind of how many hours does he work, so you say 12-hour work. Okay, but if there's no hyphen here, you should put S, 12 hours. Okay. This also modifies what kind of, how many hours does he work. It's a 12-hour work, a 12-hour job. This is why it's called adjectival compound words. Okay. Co-workers, of course, common knowledge. Co-workers is also known as your office mates or your workmates. Okay. All right. So let's move on with the dash. Okay. Now other people might have interchanged these punctuations incorrectly. Right. So we have to identify the difference of the two. So hyphen, as we all know, it's just a very short horizontal line like this. So it simply joins two or more words. However, for dash separates words or word into parenthetical statement. Okay? Later on, we will know what does parenthetical statement mean. Let's have an example here. You may think she's a liar. Dash, she isn't. Okay? Now, as you notice in this example, you may think she's a liar is already a sentence. Right. But you are trying to emphasize something. Okay? That's why you put a dash. Okay? She isn't. So you emphasize this word. That's why you put a dash. You are separating the word to make a parenthetical statement. Right? So, without a dash here, we could put but, the word but. Alright? The subordinate conjunction but. But since it depends on, say for example, if the writer wants to emphasize this specific phrase after this sentence, the writer would put like a dash to put emphasis on the phrase after this sentence, or after the prior statement rather. Say for example this one, you may think she's a liar. She is not. Okay? Alright. So that's how important dash is if you're trying to emphasize something. Okay? So you know now the difference between the hyphen and the dash, right? So I assume or I believe that you shouldn't misuse the punctuations. Okay? I mean these punctuations, especially these two. Now let's move on with the fourth one, the ninth punctuations rather, which is the parenthesis. Okay? Now don't be confused. Parenthesis with an E, this is a plural form of parenthesis with an I. Okay? This means plural. Okay? Parenthesis. Now parentheses are used like a comma. It's like one way of creatively writing your output. Okay, so, so let's say you're not comfortable already to write to write using a punctuation comma, so you can just use parenthesis. Parenthesis is like this. Okay, is enclosed with a semicircle. Or the size of the semicircle, rather. So we have here an example. So I went to the mall yesterday, and I met my teacher there unexpectedly. Okay. So notice in this example, I have enclosed the word or the phrase SM City Cebu, which is a name of a mall. Okay. This is to specify what mall did I go to yesterday. Right. So instead of using comma, I would prefer to use not punctuation, parenthesis, because I just want to use parenthesis. But I know that I'm referring to SM City Cebu. That's why I enclose this with a parenthesis. Now, let's continue. And I met my teacher, Mr. Cruz, there unexpectedly. Okay? So again, Mr. Cruz is referring to the teacher. Okay? I am referring to Mr. Cruz, who is the teacher. Okay? Maybe a teacher in one of my subjects at school. Right? So, in order for me to be more specific and to tell you specifically who's the teacher I met yesterday, so I enclose it with parentheses and the name of the teacher, Mr. Cruz. Okay? So that's just like it. Okay? So you use only parentheses if you are not already comfortable to use a comma. So in the absence of parentheses, you can use a comma. So parentheses and comma are more likely have the same functions or usage. Okay? So either way, you use comma or parentheses if you want to tell more about, or if you want to be more specific. Let's move on right away with brackets. Actually, brackets is a younger brother of parentheses. Why? Later on we will know, but first let's define what brackets are. Okay, brackets are specifically used to clarify or add something that is already stated in the parenthesis. Okay, so that's why I told you that brackets are like younger siblings of parentheses, because they have the same function. Okay. However, it's like brackets can be found inside the parenthesis. It's like that. Okay? So, they are often used also for longer or complex sentences, and quotations. Okay, quotation marks must be presented as it was spoken or written. Now, I have written here on the board. Let's try to study. Okay, so let's read. Books used in classes show methods of finding information, but not much information in preparation of the review. Italics added. Okay, so based on the definition of brackets, quotation should be presented as it was written or spoken. So I have here a quotation mark. So when you write something and you are going to use brackets, you have to make sure that there should be quotations presented. Okay? And also, you use brackets if you are referring to something. Okay? Specifically used to clarify or add something. The same with parentheses. Okay? So I have here in classes. Okay? Usually for brackets, the ones enclosed within the brackets or inside the brackets should be phrases, not just word. Because if you are if you are specifying something, but you only have to use the word to add more information to that something, you have to use parentheses if you are using one word inside the parentheses. Okay? Parentheses, one word for parentheses, and phrases for brackets. Always remember that. Now, as you notice here in classes, this is a phrase. This is referring to books. Okay? Specifically, or used to clarify or add something. That's what brackets are all about. Okay, and always don't forget to use quotations. Okay? So for brackets, we do have 3 types of brackets. We have this, how do you say this one? Square brackets. Why? Because this is like a square. Square brackets. We have the second one is the angle brackets. Angle brackets are used in URL. Okay? If you are a writer and you are going to present a URL, for example, that's the website where you got your reference, so you use angle brackets. URL is the one that you can find in the, how do you say it? It's when you type in the name of the website, that's a URL. Yes. For curly brackets, this is not really common to writers. So if you want to be a writer, you could use this one, but not oftentimes. These are commonly used by, writers of songs. Yes. This is used for creative writing like songs, poems, yes, and the likes. Okay? So, I guess that's just it, and I hope I made myself also clear to you, kids, and don't forget to study more. Actually, there are several punctuations that you can find in the website, but in your activity, these are just the parentheses, punctuations rather, that you are going to answer in your activity, okay? Or you're going to familiar for your activity, okay? So that's all about punctuations. That ends our lesson for this in this video, and thank you so much for watching. Please do study more, and don't forget to apply whatever you've learned in our video lessons. Have a nice day, everyone, and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye-bye.